Hey guys, Wrestling Rambles 89 back again today with another reaction video. This time reacting to Jesse Ventura talking about Hulk Hogan wrestling out to Vince about forming a union. Now, Jesse Ventura is always interested, I'm not gonna lie. Always love hearing him, whether it's about wrestling or politics or anything else. And talking to Stone Cold, I can imagine this one should be good. And Hulk Hogan stories are usually pretty entertaining as well, so I thought you guys would like it. But anyway, without wasting any more time, let's get started.
Never signed a contract with
Never.
WWF, and you never took a piss test.
Never.
Interesting.
Did everybody else sign a contract?
I guess I didn't look out for everyone else. We're independent contractors. Vince
So
is,
to speak.
Wait, Vince.
I know your gripes on
Vince.
this.
Wait, Vince is lucky I didn't go for the Senate. Because had I gone into the Senate, I would have started a senatorial investigation as to why pro wrestlers are called independent contractors when they're not.
Damn right.
You work for one company, they order you around, they control your whole life. How are you possibly an independent contractor except for they don't have to pay your Social Security?
Exactly.
That's why.
Right.
And so Vince is lucky that I never got to the Senate because I would have investigated that because to me, look at the thousands of dollars it's cost all of us wrestlers to have to pay 15% or whatever it is as an independent contractor on our taxes. That's a bee that's been under my saddle since I began wrestling. I thought, we are not independent contractors. I can't work for another promoter on Wednesday and then work for you on Friday. It don't work that way.
Right.
How are we independent contractors?
You brought up the idea of a union way back in the day. What was it, 84?
No, it was right before WrestleMania 2.
Okay.
Because I left and did Predator and became part of the Screen Actors Guild, and before I signed with Vince, I told him, don't worry about union, Vince, I got mine.
Okay.
If they don't want it, that's their fault.
But when you brought up the idea, like, did you have any design on how it would be run, what you would try to accomplish?
All I did, it was WrestleMania 2. 2 weeks before it, all the publicity had gone out. The advantage was ours. See, Jesse Ventura studies business. The advantage was ours. I waited so there was no agents around. I stood up in the dressing room and I gave a speech to the boys. And this was at the time we were still battling Charlotte. And I said, if we go together and simply tell the media we are not wrestling unless union negotiators by federal law come in and give us the opportunity to unionize. I said, guys, the people that turn on the lights in these buildings are union. I said, they have to do it by law. It's in our favor. Then if we engage the Charlotte guys to do the same thing, we can have a union in wrestling. I gave this big speech. I left it there. I went home. The next night, I got a call from Vince, who basically threatened to fire me if I ever brought it up again, and read me the riot act. And I then went and did WrestleMania 2 and immediately left and did Predator and was a member of the Screen Actors Guild now, my union that I get retirement from now, health care from, all of that from. And so when I came back to Vince, I told him point blank, Vince, I won't ever bring up union again. I said, if these guys are too stupid to fight for their rights, I have my union now. I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild. I get health care, I get retirement, I get everything from them. I'll pay my union dues. You won't hear from me. Well, then when I sued Vince, we had to depose him. And on the way out, I told my lawyer the story. And in deposition, you can bring up anything. And I said, if you can, David, find out who ratted me. I said, find out who ratted me that day because it was one of the boys, because there were no agents there. Yeah. And so we got in there, Vince, and my attorney was great. He says, Mr. McMahon, he said, has there ever been a union in wrestling? Vince, no. Anyone ever try to form one? Vince sat a minute, says, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I think Jesse Ventura spouted his mouth off about it once years ago. And my attorney goes, well, how do you know that? Did you hear him? No. Well, how did you know he spouted his mouth? He didn't even hesitate. Hulk Hogan told me. I was sitting in the chair and at a deposition.
You didn't sell it.
Well, at a deposition, you can't talk.
Right.
You got to be. I was there. It was like someone punched me in the face. This was my friend. And I thought, Hogan betrayed me. Hogan called Vince and ratted me. Was an office stooge. In my day, that's what they were called. That was a lowlife, an office, somebody who reports to the office in the old days, and it stunned me. Stunned me. I sat there in the chair, and I couldn't even think that it was Hogan. And then Vince admitted it on Larry King, too. And there's no reason for him to lie. He's under sworn oath.
At least Vince
and
is
then
honest,
Hogan continued to lie about it and said he didn't do it. And I've never spoken to him since, and I don't care to, because he sold, in my opinion, Hogan sold me out. And then I found out in the trial why.
Why?
Okay.
Well, in the trial, we got the records of WrestleMania 3, the big one, him and Andre. Well, Hogan made more money than all of us combined, including Andre.
Wow.
If you took the payoffs of Andre and the whole rest of the card, Hogan made more than we did.
That's ridiculous.
So naturally, he didn't want a union.
Right.
That could even out the money a little bit more. And when I saw that he made more than Andre and all of us combined, then the picture was crystal clear to me that he sold us out because he was getting taken care of and he didn't want nobody else horning in on the good deal he had.
Well, that's classic Hulk Hogan from all the stories, for all his all-American hero gimmick and shtick. And he certainly doesn't seem to stand up for the rights of every man, as long as it means he might temporarily have to go without a bit less money, like with a few less hundreds of thousands of dollars, despite the fact the other wrestlers work their asses off and also help draw. Now, of course, Hulk Hogan was the biggest draw, but come on, if you even include Andre the Giant for him to earn more than every other wrestler on that show, if it's legit what Jesse said, and I have no reason to doubt him, he's usually a pretty straight shooter, then that just shows what a greedy asshole Hulk is. First sign of any equality coming around, he rushes off, as Jesse said, an office stooge to tell Vince, gets it shut down, and now wrestlers to this day are still stuck in the same position. Every time a union's brought up to this day, it always ends up in the wrestler getting fired shortly after. Like, I think Lena Vega, that was one of the real reasons, either why she got fired or why they wouldn't rehire her. When she brought up and then when they offered to rehire her, she just, I guess, gave up and like, well, I might as well just go back to WWE. But yeah, that was an interesting story. Hulk stories often are. And it's good to hear from the person involved other than Hulk. I'm not saying this just to shit on Hogan, but it's well established that he always lies pretty much, or if you want to be generous, I guess you could say he doesn't remember things well, and that's why he often changes the story, or even if there's some partial truth, it's usually not the whole thing. So it's good to hear Jesse on it, and Austin didn't really say much, but he had that melon little laugh once or twice, which is always funny to me. So yeah, thanks as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, click the notifications bell so you never miss an upload. I upload multiple times a day. So yeah, check back soon, and I hope you will enjoy my future content as well, and I'll see you in the next video.